Well, if you've been paying attention to the news for the last 24 hours, you've probably already heard the blockbuster revelation that Justin Bieber is now one of the three artists to score back-to-back number one songs in the United States twice. I'm obviously kidding. That's not really news, but we do have really, really big breaking news. Here's the real breaking news. Pat got scared. Pat thought I had changed the first story on the show all of a sudden. No, we've crossed some kind of red line with Donald Trump's presidency. It has been revealed that Donald Trump, in the Oval Office, the day after firing FBI Director James Comey, Donald Trump revealed highly classified intelligence information to none other than Sergey Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, and Sergey Kislyak, the Russian ambassador to the U.S., who is at the center of the Trump-Russia investigation, and by the way, is also a suspected Russian spy recruiter, as first reported by the Washington Post yesterday. The intelligence was related to an ISIS plot, according to officials. We know that the information came from a Middle Eastern ally that closely guards its own secrets. The information was considered so sensitive that American officials didn't share it widely even within our own government. Never mind pass it on to other allies, and Trump spills it to Russia. Now, let's circumvent or get around one of the main questions first, which is this strictly speaking illegal? No, because the president does have the power to declassify anything they want to declassify. So by sharing it, Trump has effectively declassified it. However, this is a major national security risk. It is a major diplomatic blunder. It's a total breach of espionage and intelligence etiquette and protocol, which could drastically jeopardize our relationships with other countries with regard to intelligence sharing. I mean, Pat, why would any ally share information with us now? Trump might just spill it to Russian spy recruiters in the Oval Office.
I think that is one of the most telling things, because if we're not able to give this to our allies, apparently we can give it to our adversaries.
Yes.
But I don't think it was that strategic. It seems as if Trump was trying to brag in front of them, and that's certainly what the Washington Post article reflects.
And I'm going to get to that because the bragging aspect of this is big. It's actually even worse than I've even told you so far, because the ally that we received this information from, according to an American official, the ally had already warned us that they would cut off access to sensitive information like this if we were to share it too widely. And I think Trump mentioning it to Russian officials in the Oval Office would constitute sharing it too widely. Despite it not being illegal, this is also a mishandling by Donald Trump, a careless act by Donald Trump with regard to secret information. So I think we should go to none other than Donald Trump himself in terms of how we should deal with people who are careless with sensitive information. I will call your attention to Donald Trump's tweet from July 6th of 2016, where Donald Trump said, "Crooked Hillary Clinton and her team were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information, not fit." Now, the controversy actually grew when General H.R. McMaster, Trump's national security advisor, initially denied the reports, which are being widely corroborated by others. McMaster said, quote, "I was in the room. It didn't happen. At no time were intelligence sources or methods discussed, and the president did not disclose any military operations that were not already publicly known." Given how many bogus denials we've heard from Trump cronies time and again, this isn't particularly convincing, but Donald Trump's own statements contradict McMaster. Donald Trump sent two tweets this morning where he said, as president, I wanted to share with Russia at an openly scheduled White House meeting, which I have the absolute right to do, facts pertaining to terrorism and airline flight safety. Humanitarian reasons, plus I want Russia to greatly step up their fight against ISIS and terrorism. So Trump is not denying that he did this. He's basically saying, hey, I had my reasons for doing it.
It seems like very unorganized damage control, because all these surrogates are saying different things. And even Republicans think this is insane. Bob Corker, who's a Tennessee senator, a Republican who endorsed Trump early, said that he thinks that the White House is in a downward spiral. You have Susan Collins, a Maine senator, who said, can we just have one crisis-free day? So it looks like the wheels are falling off.
Spiral is not particularly downward spiral. But spiral alone is not really a word you want being used to describe your administration by people within your own party. And again, there have been conflicting reports, but according to officials, Trump discussed the contents of the intelligence, not the sources and methods used to collect it. Officials said that Trump shared granular details of the intelligence with Russians, including the city in Syria where the ally picked up the information about the ISIS plot. So again, big picture, one of the people Trump shared this information with is a Russian spy recruiter, suspected Russian spy recruiter, Sergey Kislyak. Here's another blockbuster element of the Washington Post report on this. The Washington Post story says, quote, one of Assistant to the President for Homeland Security and Counterterrorism, Thomas P. Bossert's subordinates, also called, and you have to pay real close attention to this, called for the problematic portion of Trump's discussion to be stricken from internal memos and for the full transcript to be limited to a small circle of recipients. Stricken from the internal memos and for the full transcript to be limited. This suggests, it basically directly says that there's a full transcript of the meeting. The meeting was likely recorded. This could escalate very quickly if a formal investigation begins. And again, this could not get more Nixonian. There could be Oval Office recordings of the president giving classified information to a suspected Russian spy recruiter. And the context from those in the room, and this gets to the bragging part that Pat mentioned, Trump appeared to do this to sort of boast about the great intelligence that he gets. How insecure do you have to be to become president of the United States and still brag about job perks like intelligence briefings to foreign diplomats?
And remember that this meeting happened one day after Donald Trump fired FBI Director James Comey, of course, the guy investigating him. So it just gives the appearance, at least, that he's sucking up to the ambassador and the foreign minister there. And when you look at the Russian allegations, does that seem more or less likely after we know this now?
Absolutely. And the counter is, well, listen, if Trump really were in bed with the Russians, he wouldn't be doing any of this because it so obviously paints this picture of collusion. We don't know what Trump would be doing in any circumstances because he's gone against what we would imagine someone would do at just about every step. But you know what, Pat? So what? Trump leaked classified info to a suspected Russian spy recruiter in the Oval Office. Who cares? Just get over that Hillary lost, right? I mean, the emails, the Clinton Foundation, Obama wore a tan suit once. All these liberals need to stop talking about this.
It seems as if Donald Trump might be contradicting himself on this one.
Yeah.
That's a rarity.
We've not seen that happen ever before.